I made it through police brutality. I made it through being jumped. I've made it through being ostracized by communities. I'm in New England where you hop into a small town, and the past few years, people didn't value intelligent awareness as much as they're starting to. So back then it was, 2022, it was good to be narcissistic and prejudiced and exclusive. So when somebody else comes in, everybody wants to bully you, especially police. Something was making police crazy. I don't know if you watched prank videos, but you could see how quick they are to get violent, and I got the short end of the stick with that one, you feel me? I've been ripped out of cars, I've been jumped by police, and then they pull up a picture on Google of attractive young man, and I'm like flattered, but I'm also bruised and pepper sprayed and in jail for nothing. Just because I had that neck tattoo, and my girlfriend at the time was black, and I was driving a Dodge Magnum, and I smoked Black and Mild, and I wore Timberland boots, and I'm in Vermont. So I kinda had it coming, but I'm glad that I set an example, because at the end of it they realized that I'm an intelligent young man trying his best through insane amounts of trauma and a brain injury. And it's in my file that Casey's son died, and he drove his car into a telephone pole, and he has brain damage. So it is what it is. But I made it through so much. It's been years of me pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I try to ask for help at economic services. Feels like a soul trap to steal my energy, and the people are cackling, and it seems demonic to me. And I'm just trying to finish my album, and as soon as I get a creative breakthrough, everybody wants to come hurt Casey. But yeah, people would threaten me on social media, and in Vermont, they defunded the police here, so I was like very frequently I would post something, and I'm pretty handsome. I've been eating a lot of sugar, so I'm kind of fat. Probably low testosterone, you feel me, but relatively handsome guy. Post on social media something attractive, just a picture of my face, get a larger amount of likes than people are usually getting in these small towns. And then suddenly I'm getting like death threats from people I've never even met, that are so angry that some girl that they talked to once in 11th grade, now they're 22, and she hearted my picture. So he gets his gun with his brother, and they're in their truck or their car, and they're out looking for me because they know I'm homeless and they know I'm in the area. So they're just gonna fucking kill me. So I have a brain injury, and I'm trying to figure it out. The people I go to for help can't help me. And I'm just trying to make my music. I have so many dreams about inspiring people and making a clothing brand that everybody's gonna wear. Having a compound in the woods, land that I can build a shelter in, that I can have a portable heater and put my car into, and then eventually have a place that people can go to escape. The escape that I needed but never had. I can find my foster brother John Michael, who now has schizophrenia from doing acid and thinks that he can trade souls with me. And he's walking around the worst part of the country, the toughest town in America, Brattleboro, Vermont, where I'm from, because of the murder and rape, and he's right in the middle of it with schizophrenia and nobody's helping him. I could pick, if I had a piece of land and a car and enough money that I could start stock trading, paper trading, day trading, because I'm watching videos every single moment I get. I'll stay up for days watching videos and taking notes. I know about how to look up liquidity and higher time frames. It's just about studying patterns now. And I'm in Discord groups. I just only have $25 to my name, but I'll do it with brain injury, and I can barely use this, but I'm getting up and doing push-ups, and I'm trying my best. I'm in a laundromat. My car is broken down the road. I sleep in an abandoned car in the middle of winter, and I don't even care. I'm happy. I'm so happy to not be where I was and to be here. I'm so grateful that I'm just hoping that if I can get land and I can get all these people, I can think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. I just came up with 31 people right now that I could save. I could save their life. I could save their life. I could fulfill their life's purpose and get them to their happiest timeline, the happiest version of themselves. I could lift them out of their depression and give them everything that their soul is hunting and searching for if I only had money. $1 million. $1 million would save 30 people's lives. It would put me in position to have because I'd say 20 of them to 25 have an insane creative gift, a soul that has something that they're making and they need to put it out into the world. But in Vermont, where we're extremely poor, extremely isolated, extremely mentally ill because we never had those social situations from that clusterfuck amalgamate that you get in the cities. We had isolation with the trees, so nobody has any semblance of reality. We're all so unique, but they have such a gift. They've grown such fruits that they need to share with the rest of us, and I can see it the way that they can. I can put it together and make something perfect that fully represents them. And I have it in my head. I've had it for years, but we don't have the means to get it out. We need a space with a music studio. I went and worked in the music industry for about 3 months before the accident, and I got stuck. But I know how to use iZotope. I know secrets about music production that nobody has heard yet, because I've sat and thought about it for years. I know if this doesn't work out and you guys don't fuck with me, my plan, I know for a fact there's a sideways skyscraper somewhere in the desert out west that all the musicians and famous people go to. It's just a sideways skyscraper. I could probably Google it, and there's a guy that lives there that's just lonely. An older guy. I saw a YouTube short where he said, I'm lonely, so my friends come over and they're DJs, so I could just go there. That's kind of the casiest thing to do, right? Is to just show up uninvited and force it to make it happen, but in a good way, but everybody's happy. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Abandoned car. I'm thinking, because we're all pretty sure the world's going to end soon, right? Isn't there an EMP that The Simpsons predicted, where they shut the internet off so that we don't go into a Terminator situation with the Boston Dynamic robots, and AI becomes kind of like this malevolent force that tethers all of us to it and then drains all of our life force out of us, and then we have to work as slaves to get ourselves back? Right? Am I wrong that they might shut the internet off so it doesn't go that way? But out here in the sticks, where in one house is a nice stand-up gentleman that loves God and loves his family, and the next house is somebody with a lot of guns that can't wait to rape the girl down the road, and he just thinks about it all day. And as these shorts pop up on his thing, he's just waiting and waiting, stockpiling ammo, and the guy that loves God hasn't even hit his brain because he's so naive. But it comes to me in waves. So how isn't there a Bible verse that says the guy that has the information and doesn't share it doesn't deserve to inherit the kingdom of heaven? So I guess what I'm asking is help my brand, the Casey O'Brien brand, with my my dad had a quadplex that my grandmother gifted him when I was born, with 40 cabins in a 4-story barn. And the first family to move in was a Brian Moore, the Moore being, if you are old enough and Irish, the Moore family was the Moroccan Africans that were civilized and taught sophisticated culture to the Celts, and that's where Irish people get their freckles from, is the melanin from the Moore family. But also the Moore family, the first Irishmen, the people in Ireland, were black, and they had bright blue eyes, supposedly. But people are also saying that there was a place called Tartaria that was extremely advanced, and knights' armor used to be a channel for etheric energy, and jousting used to be like a supersonic explosion because we were able to harness the energy in the air. You know? So, my brand, and then, you know, the Moore family moved in. Brian Moore, Tyler Moore, Gary, the Legend O'Brien, Casey, St. Francis O'Brien. My mom has Rh negative blood, which supposedly is like some ancient alien bloodline people can't tie to whatever. But most people just call her schizophrenic, so. But every person I met with Rh negative is exactly the same. And they're a lot like cats. You feel me? So my brand, because my cousin, named after the Roman Emperor Claudius, Jesse Jesus Claudius, who's a Leo, the heart, Jesus the heart, Claudius, the Roman Emperor, that sat in public housing on top of a giant hill that I visit. All he does is sit there and make art the same way that I do, but he likes animation. And we both have amazing stories, but I go out and live the stories. I travel around and live them, and I come back with wisdom. And he sits in public housing and he thinks, and he just thinks, and he digs deep in his mind and builds things that he thinks are perfect. And I go out and find the perfect, and I add my perfect to his perfect, and we have so many TV show ideas, small content creation. I have songs, I have albums, I have TV shows, I have movies, I have scenes. I have all these things for me and for the 30 other Irish Roman artists. Our kingdom of creative champions, that's what I call it, the kingdom of creative champions. And that could be a big movement, the black, red, gold on the shirts spread around New England and Vermont. The best rappers in the state, because trust me, we are so close, but the only problem is we didn't have money and we were separated. I'm sure if you're wealthy and you made it 13 minutes, you don't want to hear my rap. But it's pretty good. I've never had somebody say it was trash. And I went from being brain damaged, and I could show you a video, to living homeless in the center of Burlington and going to I came to Burlington from Brattleboro to make a name for myself and to impress the leader, like the other musicians of my caliber in Burlington, the kids that were blowing up and becoming famous and getting signed to labels. I wanted to go there and show them that I know how to do it better, and I've been through way more than they ever will. And what happened was I maneuvered, and I went and met all these people, and I went to the community outreach programs, and I restructured places, and I saved kids from public housing that were feeling empty and the life sucked out of them by demonic forces. That's the general consensus. And I wound up in this big compound that I made at a public park, and I was protecting these kids from evil homeless men with hatchets that were coming to either put them on crack or kick them out violently. And I would protect them, and I'd stand up to them, and I'd say, "What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck away from us." Sorry, pardon my French. But then all of a sudden I turn around one night making music at the park, and there's hundreds of kids, and they partied every night because they defunded the police. So I started making music and performing at the park. They came to me once I established myself. So I invaded and built a compound, and then I taught these kids, and I performed for them, and I influenced them. And then I traveled around Vermont a man just walked up and gave me a car, and then I traveled around Vermont sightseeing, and I just see music as such a better way, and I appreciate life so much. But there's no way that I'm gonna be, like, regardless of who responds, because I'm gonna put this all together and I'm gonna put it out for you so people can at least know that maybe you can get something from this. Imagine nothing and reverse it. Instead of focusing on what you can control, shift your energy into what you can create. Progress is the best revenge. Forgiveness is a lot easier than holding a grudge. Move on, focus on what you can do. Contribute, collaborate versus competition. Sunlight, fasting, probiotics. Being in love, symbiotic with every single thing around you. Harmonize. Use the Higgs boson, the smallest thing in the universe, and grow it to systems of information until you can see the music, until your intentions are this dancing symphony. And then go out and make it happen. Show the world a better way. I'm like the juggernaut. I just go through public. I barely talk, but people feel me. And I'm not crazy. I was crazy. And then the world is catching up to me. And they don't know what to do. But imagine if I had 30 other people that are all unique and different and creative and just want to make their dreams come true like I did, but they don't have the determination I do. I think maybe God gave me this choice to either help the people that hurt me, because I see how amazing things could be, or to let them go and watch them wilt in the name of saving myself. But either way, there's nothing I can do working a job for $7.50 an hour around people that drink all day and they're hateful and they want to hurt me and go through these evil matrix demonic whatevers. I'm autistic enough to have pattern recognition to see that there's a negative force that causes people to behave in the exact same way regardless of location. It is what it is. I can see it on YouTube. If you look up prank videos and you see how everyone's acting the same, if you take a walk through any public park, eventually you'll see that there are people that are just checked out and they're twitching and they're angry. And I'm just trying to get out of it. And I've tried my best to help these people. All I do is think about how to help other people and how to make these songs and this art. Since I was 13, all I've ever thought, like before 13, all I wanted was for a girl to like me. After 13, all I wanted was to impress others that turned their backs on me when I went into DCF. And then from 17 on, all I wanted to do was save the world and become famous so that I could be in a better position to save the world. And I'll tell you, the things that I thought, the stories that I created, that I was going to star in, if I didn't go through with it and from some bad choice I wound up over here, somebody else is in that position. I get to watch the story I created either way. Like Andrew Tate, like Kurt Kaz, like Kai Cenat, like Kendrick Curry, like Queso the Streamer, like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Kingdom of Creative Champions, the Kelly Creative Collective. North Ave Jax is the most famous kid out of Vermont other than Noah Kahn, and I grew up with an Alex, a Jackson, a Noah. Everywhere I go there's a Brian. It's a story. God gave me a whole state as a playground, and I got to live this amazing story. And I'm asking for money from rich people so that I can finally be the king and I can go and make these sanctuaries, these compounds for the people that I'm worried won't make it. I'm having dreams that my aunt is being robbed and raped by men from New York City that leave when everything goes to shit, and I can't save her because I can't afford a gun. And I have the drive and determination, and I hopefully you could tell that I have some type of mental fortitude, able to make good decisions after years of struggling and suffering after that bad mistake. That I feel like I've lived everything that I could live on earth when I was young. I've always felt like an ancient soul. And I honestly feel like I'm just here to get to this position so that I can send the wave out and I can protect everybody. But it feels like we're running out of time, so any donation, any at all donation to get me a truck with a camper bed or a gun or whatever, solar panels or just as much money as I can get to put myself in a position, I will use it responsibly. And thank you for listening.